dead person. Manusha is in a sense of person. Manusha is a sense of living being, not necessarily human being. Because with reference to a dead jiva or in living being, Vichikitsa, there is a doubt. What's a doubt? Astityeke nayam astiti chaike. Some say that he is, some say he is not. Then, etat vidyaham, I should know this. I would like to know this. Etat vidyaham literally means I should know this. We'll see why he uses should. I should know this. Tvaya anushishtaha, having taught by you. And etat trayanam trutiyaha varaha. Varamesha trayat varas trutiyaha. This is my third boon that you have given me. This is the last one that I am asking for. That means the question is there, with reference to dead person, there is a doubt whether he survives the death or not. That is the question. Do you survive death or not? If you see the word simple survival, it may mean that it can be interpreted both ways. Yes, you survive or you may not survive. That's a doubt people have. Why are you asking me? Because this is something na pratyakshena nava anumanena asmakam gnata. Neither through perception you can know this, nor by inference you can know. Inferential knowledge is one thing, which is, when I told you earlier, in inference there are two things are involved. One can be knowledge, other can be belief. When it is an inferential belief, it is subject to verification. It is subject to correction. And since it's a belief, it can go wrong. You have to verify. When it is inferential knowledge, it is not subject to correction. Asandiktam, abaditam. It should be like that. But then, how do we differentiate whether this is a belief or this is knowledge? Inferential. Inference is considered to be the means of knowledge. But at the same time, our experience shows that inference is often a belief. May be true, may not be true. So, there is a saying, Avinabhava Sambandha. As they say, invariable concomitance between two events. If there is a invariable relationship between the two, and then basis on that relationship, if you draw a conclusion, it is knowledge. Traditionally, they give example, Parvato Vanniman. The mountain has a fire. You don't see the fire, but you say it has a fire. Why? Dhumatvad, I see the smoke. But having seen the smoke, how can you say there is fire? Because there is an invariable concomitant, invariable relationship between smoke and fire. There cannot be smoke without fire. Yatra yatra dhumaha, tatra tatra vannihi. Wherever there is smoke, there has to be fire. Vice versa is not true. Wherever there is fire, there cannot be smoke. Okay? Our gas, cooking gas is a proof. You will have a fire, but you cannot have smoke. And a family is a proof. Sometimes without smoke also fire lights. There is an invariable relationship. That being the case, this inference drawn on the perception of fire, perception of smoke, is knowledge. But at home it often happens. I have seen in India. When she is a homemaker and husband comes home. So she looks at him and says, "What happened?" He says, "Nothing has happened." No, you are not okay. I am okay. Please tell me, what have you done, please? Nothing has happened. She somehow infers that he is not in mood. And pushes him with the question that finally says, "I told you I'm in mood, don't spoil my mood." Kitty var the Madhu khao, Madhu na khan, mood na pagad. Already he is spoiling the mood. Ignorance is with the places. For a change, this fellow is in a contemplative mood. Even after marriage. So let him be in a contemplative mood. So he is thinking something. But then he has to think double after. Anyway, coming to this, without that invariable concomitant data, inference is belief. Okay? With reference to death, survival after death, there is no invariable relationship that we know. We have seen 100 times a smoke caused by fire only. But we have not seen something like that caused by dead person. So, we cannot perceive nor we can infer about the existence and the nature of the self after death. So I have to ask you. Okay? Why I am asking you? Because we cannot infer. Second thing, that second statement is, so you ask something which you cannot know by yourself. If I can know of my own, I need not ask. So Nachiketa says, this is something I need to ask you. And what does he say? Second statement. Etavat, etad vidya. This etad vidya means this I should know. I should like to know. Why should you like to know? What happens if you don't know? What are you going to lose if you don't know? What is so big deal that you must know? That should know implies that. Why? Shankaracharya very beautifully mentions etad adhino hi paraf purushartha. Okay? This depends on the param purushartha, depends on this knowledge. In other words, this knowledge itself is param purushartha. What is param purushartha? Please understand the word purushartha. Purushaihi arthyate prarthyate iti purushartha. Here the word purusha is in a sense of every jiva, okay, not male, female. Any jiva. The jivatma is called purusha. That even Gita you see this dvavimau purusho loke aksharascha aksharevacha aksharas sarvani bhutani kutasto aksharuchyate etc. There is not that Bhagavan is biased towards male gender and there is no mention of female gender. It is not so. Purusha is jiva. This, in the purushartha, what is sought by, arthyate prarthyate, what is desired by, what one wants is called purushartha. These basic wants are categorized in four, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Two are natural and the rest two you have to cultivate. Artha, kama, purushartha, desire for artha means security. Artha doesn't mean money, security. Kama, pleasure, both, not sensual only, emotional pleasure. To have family around is emotional pleasure. Would we feel happy if, it is a usual problem, especially in US, when the children go to university, mother feels vacuum because she is all the time busy running a travel agency, taking one to the class, another class, and then cooking and doing, and suddenly they go to dorm, and then they don't come back. They like peers. And then she keeps on asking them, when are you coming, when are you coming? When they come, she feels happy by mere presence. It is not a baby of 5 years she wants to hug and kiss, but the very presence gives joy. Emotional joy, kamaha. Instinctually, we know dharma, samanya dharma. Dharma means to be done and not to be done. Dharma doesn't mean belief here. In Purushartha, dharma word doesn't mean belief system, which commonly it is interpreted. They ask me also, Swamiji, what is your dharma? My dharma is no dharma. Sannyasi has no duties, where is dharma? But then, to be done, duties. Common sense duties are known to all of us. That I should speak truth, I should not hurt anybody, I should help somebody, I should forgive, everybody knows. Even Vishesha Dharma also partially known. What is a Vishesha Dharma? The duties of the role. See, whether you are male or female, whether you are Indian or American or Japanese or Korean or whatever, whether you are young or old, that one should speak truth is samanya dharma, is known to us. But if you are married, then there is a Vishesha Dharma. Vishesha specific, certain things are expected out of you to be done for the spouse. That's a Vishesha Dharma. These Vishesha Dharmas are also partly known. Like if you are Indian, certain tax you have to pay. You know it, doesn't make out, not a big deal. But some other Vishesha Dharmas which Vedas talk with reference to the totality, that one needs to know. But by knowing is not enough, one has to commit oneself to do. That effort is necessary. Otherwise, most of the people are like Duryodhana. Janami dharmam nachame. I know what is to be done, but I can't do that. That is a purushartha. Now, last is moksha. In fact, these three are nothing but the expression of moksha, which is a basic urge. Whether you come to Swamiji or not, you study Shastra or not, or you go to any group, there is an English word, there are seekers, seekers. Everybody is a seeker. Baby is also seeker, seeker of toffee, that's all. Young person is also seeker, seeker of some cosmetics and clothes. Who is not a seeker? Everybody is a seeker. Even Swami, some of the seeker, seeker of devotees. And Dakshina seekers, Swamis are also there. Politician is a vote seeker. That's always there. Everybody is a mumukshu. What is, in the beginning we said, mumukshu, moksha is freedom from what? One simple. Freedom from dukkhi. Yeah. I find myself to be dukkhi all the time. Dukkha caused by me, by my physique or whatever, caused by my relatives, caused by my society, caused by my dharma. When I see people not following my dharma, my values, I am unhappy. Caused by nation, whatever, you have some nimitta, each one has a nimitta. Why I am dukkhi? Something outside me. And that one instinctively wants to get rid of this. As they say in English, nobody wants to hold on to hot potato. The better example is, nobody wants to eat hot potato vada. The Indians know better. Indians, every Indian has this experience. They take bhajis, pakoras, bhajia, invariably put hot in the mouth. Fellow cannot gulp nor can bring it out. That is a typical samsara. Who is a samsari? I cannot throw him out or not I can take him. That's a samsara. So, that state of mind, want to get rid of this, is natural. That is called ultimate purushartha, param purushartha. As you can call it as in jargon, that's a bottom line. Very beautiful. Taittiriya Upanishad says, Ko hyeva anyat kaf pranyat yadesha akasha anando nasya. You survive till only there is a hope or there is some possession of happiness. That's the bottom line. Look at this Nachiketa. He knows that Parama Purushartha will be acquired only through knowledge. See, there are two words for English seekers. What is the one word? Mumukshu, another word is Jignasu. All the people who are connected to some group here and there, meditation, seva, what, it's a huge market. It's a Walmart, spiritual Walmart. Anybody can shop anywhere. They want something. Fellow doesn't want this samsara. Knows it doesn't solve. Some vague knowledge, it doesn't solve my problem. I need to do something new. That time the fellow is most valuable and gets to some group. But just as some possessions from the world outside, some changing situation externally didn't cure the problem, so also some mental change will not cure the problem. There is one step, one needs to be converted as though one needs to convert oneself from mumuksha to jignasa. One should know the problem. Problem is of ignorance, not of becoming something, not of some state, not of going somewhere. The problem is of lack of self-knowledge. Only the self-knowledge will cook the goose of ahankara. When that clarity comes, then person will turn to Shastra. Otherwise, some meditation and some bhajan and some bhakti and some kirtan and all this talk. There are three margas, bhakti marga, karma marga, jnana marga, yoga marga, and some marga they go. It's a lack of clarity. I have seen Swamis talking for margas. And I said, what is this you talking? What are you talking? What is this means what? I said, this is not so. Who said so? I said, this is humbug. Arre, you are humbug. That's not it. I wish I had a dialogue like Shankara and Mandan, I would have convinced him. But they are not available. When you don't understand the problem, you don't get the right solution. That is another grace. That you know, at least you understand, problem is of self-ignorance. And even if you don't understand, you get stuck to a guru who teaches you Shastra. You just get to, that's a grace. Otherwise you get things, because the fellow has so much of Shraddha, so much of devotion and so much of readiness and things, and whatever Guru says, keep doing. And that Guru puts him on what? Meditate and realize. Lifelong. Some Guru says, no, do bhakti, no, do bhajan, no, do this. So many people. And you know what happened, the worst thing? They invest their emotions into that Guru. That means roots are strong because emotions are involved. It's so difficult to get them back. And if you tell something, they become judgmental, subjective, and they get hurt. So it's a grace that you and one understands or one gets to a teacher who teaches Shastra. Gita, that was an advantage of live tradition. You know, this country, this tradition was so strong that like today, at least somewhat it is strong. So far, this generation, next may not. But so far people have that much clarity. After retirement, our job is Bhagavan. They don't know sannyasa. They say, abhi to Bhagavan ko pana hai. We have to gain Bhagavan. We have to work for moksha. Something vague they say. At least they are very clear. That much clarity is there. There is one Purushartha other than Artha, Kama and family. I should pursue that. That much they know. Which Bhagavan, where Bhagavan, how Bhagavan, they don't know. Much less they bother to know, but they will join some group and some satsanga and some bhajan and kirtan and all that they will do. They will not think of remarriage after 60s, typical Indian. It's time to give up. And they will develop a tendency to withdraw from the worldly intellect and try to get to Swami or something. But those times, they were clear that only knowledge will solve the problem. So Arjuna also asked question, yasyat nishchitam bruhitam. So also Nachiketas asked this. Tell me, I have heard this. Moksha takes place by self-knowledge only. So he tells this. Etadhi adhinaha. You know? So etad adhinaha hi parah purushartha. The total happiness, the total peace that I am seeking is dependent on or is as a result of this knowledge. Therefore I should know. And anushishtastvayaham, taught by you. I should know this, taught by you. And this is implying that you please teach me this. This is my third boon. Now, there seems to be some vagueness in the question. You can say it is not there, or you can say it is there, which is natural. Every student makes mistake in framing the question. Because if there is a clarity, the question will be proper. Like Arjuna asking, Sthita Pragnasya ka bhasha. What is the language of wise man? What is language? Wisdom has nothing to do with language. Sthita Pragnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava. What is the description of wise man? What description? Knowledge will not change anything here. You know? No, he is a wise man. So hairs will go away. There will be hollow of light coming here. That can become because then people using like this mic, that Ram Rahim can put a hollow behind. You know, that fellow was caught. That Dera Satcha Soda Ram Rahim. They can do all this light from the behind. What change? Only one change I can tell. Okay, this is belief, not knowledge. Okay. If you become Gnani, or if you are on the path of Gnanam, and living in Haridwar, Rishikesh, or in Samsara, Madhya Pradesh will go. That is a Praman. Madhya Pradesh. Like Gujarati, they say, Vaishnav, nahi ne mare, sannyasi khai mare. Vaishnavacharya, they are fastidious about Suji, they take 10 times bath. And sannyasis have bhikshas. So that is a lakshana. The pragnasya lakshana is this Madhya Pradesh, the central part. Vikas. Madhya Pradesh, Vikas ki or ja raha hai. I told the principal secretary of Madhya Pradesh, I was there in secretary. Madhya Pradesh mein sarvangi vikas hona chahiye. All that talking, all types of growth should be there, and therefore we have initiated the Shankara movement and people has to grow. I said, Haridwar mein sarvangi vikas hota hai. Madhya Pradesh ka. He couldn't understand. Then I told him. I told in my talk. He doesn't know how to frame the question. So it may be the case, but it is not a case. There are two, three things. See, Nachiketa is not asking whether there is somebody after death or not. Yam vichikitsa prete astitye nayam astitye. Some say there is something, and some say he is there, and some say he is not there. Why should he not ask this question? When he says survives, does this some Jivatma survive after death or not? That is not a question. He himself is surviving. He himself has gone to Yamaloka, so he knows he survives, full stop. That's not a question here, correct? And secondly, he asked for this Svarga Vidya. In the second boon, he asked the means to going to heaven. When you ask this, and he encased one boon, he didn't encase for the sake of fun. He meant it. He wanted this knowledge from Yamaloka, heaven, and pass on to Bhuloka. And so he asked for Lok Sangraharte, Lok Kalyanarte. So he knows this, that there is a survival after death. And there is a question. But when he says survives after death, the word survive means, is there somebody who is beyond death? Understand, beyond also is again survival. But beyond means who is deathless, birthless. Some say there is someone who is deathless and birthless. One who doesn't die at all. When someone dies, there is what we call a death. The death happens. But there is something which doesn't die. Na jayate, na mriyate kadachit. Never dies. Never is born. Nainam siddhanti shastra, etc. Some say such Atma is not there also. Subject to cycle of birth and death, subject to karma phala, subject to the shad vikara, the self is like that. And some say not subject to karma phala, not subject to cycle of death, not subject to shad vikara. One famous, every Indian would know this. Vasam jajirnani yathavya navani grunadi naroprani, etc. etc. So, is there a self which is beyond or free from death and birth and etc. or not? Some say it is not, some say it is. And this I need to know. Because when I know that, then only moksha siddhi takes place. So please teach me. That is his question. Now, Yamaraja, look at the verse next, very interesting verse. Devairattrapi vichikitsitam pura. Devairattrapi vichikitsitam pura. Nahi suvigneya manvesha dharma. Nahi suvigneya manvesha dharma. Anyam varam nachiketo vranishva. Anyam varam nachiketo vranishva. Mamo parotsyaratima srujainam. Mamo parotsyaratima srujainam. Raja says, when Nachiketa asked this, the implying nature of the self, he says, with reference to this subject matter, Atra asmin vishaye devaihi pura vichikitsitam. Pura means in olden times. Even the gods had doubt. with reference to this subject matter, in the past, gods also had, she must be referring to one incident when they doubted, some story. I mean, some happening. And then, nahi suvigneya anuhu esha dharma. Suvigneya means can be known, or to be known. Suvigneya can be easily known. It cannot be easily known. Why? Because it is very anuhu. Anuhu means subtle in its nature. Dharma Shabda is in a sense of subtlety. Nature. Anu is in the sense of subtlety. Nature of that vastu which you are asking me is very subtle, and therefore it cannot be known very easily. And that being the case, Anyam Varam Nachiketa. O Nachiketa, choose another boon. Anyam Varam, another boon. Purnishva, may you choose another boon. Mama Uparodsihi. Uparodsihi means don't pressurize me. Don't push me. Because I am committed to give you boon. And you have right to ask for anything. I gave you. So you have right to pressurize me. And you may do it. Don't pressurize me. Atisruja enam. Please give up this. Give up this, what you have asked for. Okay? So 2-3 things Nachiketa, Yamaraja says. In the past, even the gods had a doubt. Second, this vastu is very subtle and therefore it cannot be known easily. And third, therefore, O Nachiketa, ask for something else and please don't press me, leave this. That is what Yamaraja says. You see, Yamaraja, there is a whole section till this Valli ends, last 9 mantras, except one mantra which Nachiketa says is a pariksha of Nachiketa. Yamaraja is checking whether he is worthy for this vidya or not. Why you have to check? There is a statement, don't give this knowledge if the student is not ready for it. Why should we not give? A simple reason. This teaching is pratyaksha phala. Because it's a knowledge. It should give rise to phalam right there and then. Like even the 10th boy who was lost. And the leader was anxious, in tension and worry. What will happen if the 10th is not found, and etc. etc. This worry, dukkham, tension, worry, all will vanish. Immediately, when it is told, Tvam dasmosi, full stop. Moksha ho gaya. Dukh mein se, usi kshan mukti ho gayi. So knowledge is immediate, provided you are ready for knowledge. Otherwise, the efforts will go in vain. If the person is not ready, even if given, doesn't work. Therefore, this knowledge is called Rajaguhyam, king amongst all secrets. Secrets are 2 types. One which is kept away from you, therefore secret. Like certain documents, government hide certain papers. They don't let it come out. That becomes a secret. Another one is, it is right in front of you, still you don't see. Not seeing in spite of seeing, that's a great secret. Exactly like in childhood we used to have these fun games, children magazine. These are 2 pictures. Picture A is different from picture B in 5 different or 7 different ways. Find out the dissimilarity. 2-3 मिल जाएगा. 2-3 you immediately catch. The last time you keep fetching, you keep looking closely. Then suddenly you find this, on this picture, this fellow is a bird, this is also bird. He has 3 hair, he has 2 hair. You see but don't see. That's the secret. In spite of being taught, if the person is not ready, cannot see. Not only not see, very beautifully Shankaracharya mentions in Kathopanishad. Ekasmat guroho sakasat shramvatam madhye kaschit pratipattate, kaschit apratipatate, kaschit na pratipattate, kaschit vipratipattate. 4 possibilities. Same teacher. Some knows little, some doesn't know, because they are lignani, asangaha. Kutasthaha, they are immoving. Some doesn't know and some know just the opposite. Vipratipattate. Like Virochana. That's how Charvaka came. Same Upadesha or other day that Guru Sharananji told, the. Each one understood differently. Dev, Danav, Manav. So, you have to, unless the person is ready, this knowledge, teachings won't work. So, Yamaraja wants to check Nachiketa's readiness. First of all, Nachiketa's, look at this, presentations, asking the poems and replying and all that. At least give a confidence in Yamaraja that it should be checked. He can be worthy for learning. Otherwise, he is a very young boy. 8-year boy, 7-year, 12-year, maybe whatever. Kumar, Nachiketa, this presentation, his own presentation, posed a doubt in Yamaraja's mind. This might be Adhikari. Looking to age, there is no possibility of his readiness. But then it might. What is Adhikaritvam? In one word you say maturity. What is maturity? You can say Vairagyam. What is Vairagyam? Objectivity. What is objectivity? Absence of subjective values. It is objective, seeing the things as it is, not seeing the things. Evaluating the things as it is. There is always subjective values. We will see in the next mantras. So Yamaraja wants to check his Viveka and Vairagya. So rather than straight replying him, he says, even Devatas had a doubt. Who are Devatas? Supposedly great Upasakas, supposedly great Karmakandis. So they are Sattva Pradhana. Devatas are very sattvic. Devatas have all Shama, Dhamma, etc. Somehow our media has created impression that Devatas are nothing but discotheque guys. Indra and all, every time these Apsaras are dancing, these are all media useless presentation. Not Devatas have so much work to do, not that all the time they are watching the dance. What is this? And then media shows even Brahmaji watching the dance. Brahmaji is such a busy guy. He is not Donald Trump, by the way. He will go for such kind of activities and go for golf club and blah blah. Donald keeps going to golf club. He is Narendra Modi. No time for anything. So these are wrong presentations. This then anyway, they are Sattva Pradhanaha, very Uncha Yoni and Samadhamadi Yukta. Even before becoming Devatas, they have to have self-restraint. Then only you qualify to be. It is like studying in IIT and getting admission into masters in IIT. That fellow has to be studious by nature. fact that he got into masters, he or she, he must have been very studious and intelligent. Harvard here, masters in Harvard. He has to be like that. Not that having gotten into masters all the day he goes to dance and music. He will never go. He would hardly have time for all these things. So devatas are sattva pradhana. Even they had doubt. It is not ordinary person had a doubt. These devatas, they are people of accomplishment. It's not easy to be a devata. And this subject vastu, even what he says doubt, doubt means not a question. Even after teaching they had a doubt. Even after they went through a teacher's teaching, they had a doubt and it took long time to understand. We have a story in the Upanishad where Indra goes to Brahmaji, Indra and Virochan, and Brahmaji gave Upadesha. He said, I couldn't understand. Then Brahmaji said, do penance, tap karo. You have to do Antakara Shuddhi. He did it for 32 years. Then again told him, same thing, what he told earlier. Do you understand? Little. Okay, go ahead, again tapas. Made him do 32, 32, 32, 3 times. Then again he couldn't get the clarity. Doubt was there. So he's again do it for 5 years. After that, the same Upadesha Brahmaji gave again. He said, now I understand. So the problem was not in teaching. Problem was in lack of capacity to see the teaching through and through. Lack of capacity to understand. You have to do tapas for 101 years. Therefore, symbolically, people give 101 rupees as a tapas. I can't do, but this is 101. Don't give 11. Lighter side, okay. I don't mean anything. This is Devata had a doubt. So Devata nahi, Deva Raja had a doubt. The kings of the Devatas, who is the most sattvic amongst all Devatas, with Samadama, Titiksha, etc., had a doubt. So matured people have a doubt because nahi suvigneyaha anuresha dharma. This vastu cannot be known easily because its nature is very subtle. Please understand now one more point in between the lines. The dharma shabda, dharma word in Shastra is used in 2 senses. One in a sense of duty, Brahmana dharma, Grihastha dharma, Kshatriya dharma. And dharma is used in a sense of its own nature, swarupa. So we anu dharma, its swarupa is subtle. Like the dharma of this chair is wood, swarupa. Dharma of an ornament is gold, that is swarupa. Anu dharma, dharma is swarupa sometimes. You have to see the context. So dharma doesn't mean belief system. Dharma doesn't mean certain lingas, chinhas you wear and this and that. Dharma has a different meaning. Contextually you have to see. Like dharma of fire is heat. Dharma of sun is light and heat and energy. It's nature. So he says the Atma's nature is very subtle. And nahi suvigneyaha, you cannot know it easily. Even Devatas took time, Devaraja took time, Devaraja had to do all the penance. So Nachiketa, implying what? Nachiketa, you are a child. You are a small boy. Think of the Devaraja. What about you? As they say in Sanskrit, Yatra gajaha na ganyante, tatra mashakanam ka varta. Where elephants are not counted, where is the question of flies? They don't bother for that, So, yatra dollars are not counted, so much of black money. Tatra Bangladesh taka nam ka varta. It is like this, it's insignificant. You are too young for this. And so he wants to test this. He says, please ask some another boon, don't press me. Look at this maturity or sharpness, or you can say viveka of his child. What is his next mantra? Devairatrapi vichikitsitam pura nahi suvigneya mrutyo nahi suvigneya manur nahi suvigneya tvam cha mrutyo yanna sugneya matha mantra 22nd Devayiratrapi vichikitsitam kila Tvam cha mrutyo yanna sugneya matha Vakta chasya tvadruganyo na labhya Nanyo varastulya etasya kasyat Okay. He says, Hey Mrityo, Atha, you just say, oh Lord Yama, you just say, what? Devaihi atra vichikitsitam kila. Indeed, you just now say, you indeed say, or indeed they had a doubt. Kila can go with both. You say, even the gods had doubt. Okay? And you also say, yanna sugneyamath. You also say, tvam cha mrityo, O Lord Yama, you also say, na sugneya. It cannot be known easily. It's not easy to know. Two things you just now said. Yes. But my question is, where can I find a better teacher than you? Vakta cha asya vishayasya, in this subject matter, Vakta means teacher, not a speaker. Vakta asya, in this subject matter, Tvadrukanyaha nalabhya. Like you, Tvadruk, like you, Anyaha, another nalabhya. I cannot get another teacher like you. Means you are the best teacher available. Why should I go somewhere else? And therefore, and one more point, na anyaha varaha etasya tulya. There is no boon which is equal to, which is in a way superior to, better than this boon. Therefore I want this only. Look at the intelligence. This killer, what does it mean? You have to see this. When he reminds him, he says, you just now say, even Devatas had a doubt. Didn't you say that? Yes. That means Devata wanted to know this. Yes. I should have it. Why? In spite of living in heaven, they needed this. In spite of being a ruler, not only citizens of heaven, they were ministers in heaven. And you talked about Swamiji, you talked about the king of heaven. All these riches of heaven did not solve the problem. Why should they ask for them? If heavenly pleasures were enough, they wouldn't have asked for it. And if at all asked for, and then couldn't, because it is very subtle, they couldn't understand. Forget it. They are not interested in. Like I am not interested in this tennis. Who has won and who lost British Open? French Open and America. Who cares? I sometimes ask, something is going on, and you ask young age, what is the matter? Rogers is losing. You don't know which Rogers is talking. Rogers is internet server of Canada or the London. You just don't care. You asked it, but you are not so keen that you ought to know. Correct? Because it doesn't make much difference to you. You are not at a loss by not knowing this. You have enough other things. But Devas have all the heavenly pleasures, still they wanted to know. Well, then I must know. It goes with you, only think so. In spite of having these riches and so-called pleasures and dance and drinks, they had all this. Still they asked, therefore I should have it. And you said it is very subtle, very difficult to know, not so easy to know. That means I need a teacher. Acharya Jivana, Sannyasi Kyarna Ata Maharaj. You said, you said this, I think, let's see, indirectly, Nachiketa expresses his Shraddha in teacher. That means you are the best teacher available. Why should I look for another teacher? And therefore, I want this only. Nahi sudha anya varaha tulyas, and not only teacher, but you said ask something else. But there is nothing equivalent to this. In other words, there is nothing which can give me moksha. And I don't want anything short of moksha. Everything else will fall short of it. So better give me this. That's what he says. We'll see further in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
It's in the East Godavari district, past the Godavari. I'm the next village to Swami Kathopanishad. Yeah. Very delta, yeah.
ये ना हम ज्यादा टाइम फैन ऑफ कर देंगे अभी थोड़ा सुकून
हाँ बराबर है बराबर yeah.
Children are all.
We have only like one son
Okay.
and yeah.
But he is.
This is off, I hope.
He lives away.
Yeah. Chairs separated, na? Like your name is